Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the good, the noble, the instantaneously recognizable Dr. Yukon Suckit. Yes, that is my given name. So today I'm bringing to you a deck that I love. It's near and dear to my heart. It's mono black discard, and so we're swinging back to it. It's been a little while. And this one is an interesting deck. I mean, the thing about it is it appears like it's doing the discard thing. The other thing it's doing is there's a lot of graveyard flushing. It takes care of stuff in the graveyard as well. So those people that are trying to do some reanimator or some recursion of some existing decks or cards that might go to the graveyard, this will help to take care of them as well. So let's take a look at what's inside this deck. We've got, at the low end, we got Bloodchief's Thirst, which for one, you could kill any creature or planeswalker with a mana value of 2 or less. And that's a lot of stuff right now. Not necessarily planeswalkers, but definitely there's a lot of really great creatures. Voice of the Blessed, that Generous Visitor, that is, 2 or less mana. No matter how big it gets, this thing could take it out for 1. And then for 4, you could take out any target creature or planeswalker, and that's fine. So this is a great utility card who's good at the low end as well as the regular end as well. We got Dread Fugue, which target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with a mana value of 2 or less, and that player discards that card. And then if you've got I'm not sure how cleave works. Let's see what that says there. You may cast a spell for its cleave cost. It's only 3. You can make them discard any one card that's a non-land card. I remember the olden days, they weren't so concerned about it. You could actually take out lands, and people were running around landless. I guess that was a big problem. So they make sure that you really can't touch lands anymore. All right, so that's the first 2 there. We've got Acquisition Expert, who's a 1/2, and she comes out. She's got a big old butt, so that way she can help defend. And then depending upon, let's see, target opponent reveals number of cards in their hand equal to the number of creatures in your party. A party consists of up to 1 of each: Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard. Usually she just gets 1 card. I'm not sure we're going to be able to see much going on here. Because that's a werewolf. I don't think that counts as a party. So anyways, usually she gets to take out 1 card. They get to pick what that card is. But anyways, it's part of that whole discard action. Afterwards, you got somebody who can chump or deliver a little bit of damage. We got Meathook Massacre for helping to clear the board. And, really the important stuff are the last 2 things on the card, which is whenever a creature you control dies, the opponent loses life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Those are actually the most important part of this enchantment. Don't get locked into that first part, which is that it'll give -1/- to each creature on until the end of the turn. It's great, but those last 2 are really what's going to win the game for you. Blood Pact. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So potentially, you could use this to kill somebody if they only got 2 life left. But anyways, you'll probably use it on yourself, I imagine. Go blank. So this is that first card. I love this card from a discard player perspective, because target player discards 2 cards, then you exile that player's graveyard. So anybody that's doing flashback or is going to be playing any sort of get things back from the graveyard, this just empties their resources. Like that Leer card that allows you to play all the cards in your graveyard as though they have flashback. There ain't nothing in there to play. So Go Blank is your go-to for that kind of thing. Graveyard Trespasser. Once again, this is another one of those where when it comes into play, you exile 1 target card from somebody's graveyard. And whenever you attack with it, you exile a target card from the graveyard. And if you take out creatures, then each opponent loses life and you gain a life. And then when you wolf's out, then you do 2 of those things instead. So this will help just pair out that graveyard and make sure that they cannot get anything back from it useful. If you got them, they're playing, Blood on the Snow, and then they want to go back and get one of their planeswalkers back. Nope, that's not there anymore. You've taken care of it. So that's what we want to do. Inscription of Ruin. I just love these cards. I'm going to be so sad when they're gone. I hope we see them in. I mean, I'm sure we will in the future. They're so useful. The Swiss Army knife cards. In this case, you get to choose one of the following, unless you have, what is it, 3 + 4, 7 mana to do all of them potentially. But target opponent discards 2 cards. Yep. Return target creature card with mana 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Yep, you could do that. You can bring back Acquisition Expert, I guess, in this case. In which case, you get a creature back, and they have to discard a card. So it's almost as good as that first one where the opponent discards 2 cards. And then you destroy target creature with a mana value of 3 or less. And there's a lot of stuff you can destroy that way. So that's great. Soul Shatter. Opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest mana value amongst the creatures and planeswalkers they control. Each opponent sacrifices a creature unless they discard a card. They do that twice, at which point then you get a guy who is a 0/4 with Menace, but whenever it attacks, it gets +X+O, where X is the number of creature cards in the defending player's graveyard. So I find that usually this thing's at least a 4, sometimes even larger by the time it starts attacking, because usually you're going to get, what is this, a 4? So yeah, you're going to have you got a lot of early game going on, a lot of stuff in the graveyard. Now the problem is that your graveyard kill is going to clear things out. But I mean, if she's not, super buff at the time, whatever. I guess what could you do about that? Just elect not to do it, I guess, the things that are going to do graveyard kill in case you got the kind of thing going on. So yeah, I guess this is a little weird because it doesn't go around with the graveyard clearing. But she's definitely going to help you with the sacrificing unless they discard, because that gets right into Tergrid, where, man, if you can put Tergrid out as Tergrid, not the Lantern, then how many do we have? We have 3 of them. So we can do both technically. But then whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So basically all that stuff that they're getting rid of, that they're choosing to get rid of, is going to become yours. And that's what you're hoping for here. But yeah, Tergrid costs 5 to put out, and then you got to keep her out. So hopefully she doesn't get nuked. We got Junji, the Midnight Sky. So you got a 5/5 flyer with Menace, and then when Junji dies, each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. Or put a target non-dragon creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, you lose 2 life. From a graveyard, this means you can pull somebody else's creature out of their graveyard and put it under the battlefield under your control. But that means you could do Tergrid, or you can do whatever the hell they got inside their graveyard. So if there's something out there that you like and you haven't nuked it out of the graveyard yet, not a non-dragon creature. So yeah, that's so good. I've never even recognized that till just now. Okay, we already talked about Tergrid. We got Invoke Despair, probably my favorite card from Kamigawa. At least I'm really, really happy with it. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, and then an enchantment, and then a planeswalker. And if they can't for any one of those, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. So there's so much good for this thing. It's just so devastating and excellent. Blood on the Snow. Just either destroy all creatures or you destroy all planeswalkers, and then you return a creature or planeswalker card with the mana equal the value of X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast the spell. We've got 19 snow-covered swamps. We got 4 of the man lands, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Love those guys. And then we got, 2 of the Takenuma Abandoned Mire, which says you can mill 3 cards and then return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, so I don't know. The deal is that there's not very many creatures or planeswalkers in this deck. In fact, that's not a planeswalker at all. And I'm not even sure if she counts, if Tergrid counts as a creature. I can't see why not, but how many creatures do we actually have here? 2? We have a total of 7 creatures. So, yeah, this is going to be hard. You better have those in your graveyard as you cast this, if you decide to do the channel on this thing, because the chances you run across something in the mill are not going to be good. So anyways, there's the deck. That's what we're intending to do with it. Let's see how well it works out. And we're playing against Scott. How you doing, Scott? Indiana Pachyderm. All right, 3 mana, looking good. Love what I got here. Let's continue. Decided to change up my card sleeves. I think that lives to my Golgari heart right there. No! You can't be doing this to me. I'm doing this to you. Alright. Racing. I think I'm in the lead here, but someone's going to be... Well, you don't have anything to go blank on here. Let's see what we should pick on. I think we're doing double... I think we're mirror matched at this point is the deal. One up to 4, so number 5 I'll be able to invoke Despair on the next turn. What's he gonna be able to do? Except for the fact he's probably gonna rip out my Invoke Despair. I got a block though. No attack. Gotta love a good Field of Ruin. Oh, Menace. Yep, can't do much about that. See you later, Invoke Despair. It was so nice knowing ya. Oh, ha 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 ha! I started seeing some high oh no! Yeah, we're just mirror matched here. This is ridiculous. Suck it, ninja! And let's get myself some cards. What else? Do I have anything good in here? Any creatures? Just Acquisition Extra. That's not going to help me out too much. Yeah, we're just mirror matched here. This is ridiculous. Alright, I'm gonna... Let's draw some more. There we go. We got a nice Junji. Yeah, I think I'll... God, I'm only down to 6 life at this point. This is getting ridiculous. River over, send over your Eye Tyrants. This is... Could I be dead? I gotta be, right? 1. Yeah, there we go. Nasty. Wow, I think we just played the same deck against each other. You can see what that deck's capable against you. Alright, we're playing against sugishi. I don't know. 3 mana, gotta love it. Everything plays 3. We're good to go. Ugh. 1. What is that? A sorcery? Okay. 2. Let's do this. All I'm seeing up there is blue right now. Oh, starting to counter it. Well, I'll counter you on the... I'll keep going, man. There's nothing that's going to stop me. Yeah, you know, I tell you to get rid of my Tyrant. That's a good idea. Alright, we're going to go blank on the next turn. Oop, he's got his red. Get rid of 2, my friend. See, there's some flashback. Get myself some cards. I see this place where I don't have anything for this guy. Luckily I do have something for him. Suck it, suckerfish! Next to damage. Let's grab a couple more cards. Alright, looks like we're long reaching it. At this point forward... maybe I need to start leaving creature cards in his graveyard. Well, look at that hand of cards. He's got a lot there for that Storm Giant Manland. Yeah, he's got more than enough for it. There we go. Ah. What do we got in the graveyard here? Anything worth bringing back creature-wise? I don't see it. All right. One of these. Yeah, good. I didn't count out for the number of mana I'd need to activate the Hive Tyrant. That's the only thing I could do to keep myself alive at this point. Is defend. I put out the other guys so that they could be some chump blockers. There's a couple of chump blockers. Let's get rid of something out of his hand. A little too quick on the button pushing. We got him down to 5. Yeah, that sucks. There's nothing I can do about that. Oh, except for he's completely tapped out. Excellent. Let's see. Let's channel up. And we'll bring back our werewolf. Oh, did we get it? Is Invoke Despair going to win us the game? 2, 3, and victory! Victory! All right, once again, 3 mana, excellent. And a bunch of great cards. Let's keep it. Hello, Captain Morgan. Good to see you, my friend. And sure. Let's poke through your deck, my friend, and we'll see what we got going on. What else did we see here? Alright, so we got... That one guy's a jerkwad. We don't really care about our permits too much, except for Tergrid, which we haven't seen at all. There we go. You're gonna pay for the ward, discard a card. There, he did it. You can discard another card? Or are you gonna give me back my wolf? You did it. No tax. What I really like here would be a nice Meathook Massacre. If they put down that Paladin, I will take it all out. What is the Paladin looking like? Yeah, 4? Ooh, that's rough. I'm not sure I can handle it. I could do the Soul Shatter, but... How's that a 4/4 for 2? Oh, it's more than 2. Okay. They need 4 mana for that guy. And they paid for it. Alright, so I can now take out up to 3, so that's not going to help me out. I'll have to Soul Shatter at this point. And we are done. And yes, attack, whatever, I'm not going to block. Okay, there we go. So she's now 4. Meathook. Can I cast this? Let's just do that. No tax. And we win. See you later, Captain Morgan. See you later. Okay, this was Tergrid discard with a surprising lack of Tergrid. I mean, there's 3 of them in here. You know, so... how much do you expect to actually see them? You know, I think the thing was that in a 60 card deck, if you had 4 of a card in the deck, you should expect to see at least 1 of that card in your game, you know, and then that's it. But if you have 3, there's a chance you're not going to see it. Now, we played it 3 times, we didn't see it at all. I think that's a little weird, but it's not unusual. But you know what? The deck did very well otherwise. It did very well. In fact, the only time it lost in the games we played was against pretty much a mirror match, the exact same deck. And I think we were going second. So, yeah, let's take a look. What really stood out as being awesome here? You know what? Graveyard Trespasser was fantastic. I loved the fact that it was taking out those flashback cards. You got so many people that just live off this idea that if something dies, they could just go ahead and play it a second time. No big deal, right? A lot of the spirit stuff going on, all has that stuff going on. Man, this Graveyard Trespasser just is the antidote to that issue. Inscription of Ruin. It's so good, so incredibly good. As far as like you can tell them you discard 2 cards, or if you're ready, you can bring your dude back and then make them still discard an additional card if you're comboing it with the Acquisition Expert. And lastly, the fact that you could take out a target creature mana counter 3 or less. I mean, depending on your situation, this card is an answer for a lot of different things. Okay, yeah, the real MVP has been all along Invoke Despair. I mean, you saw it when I got hammered by this, like 3 times in like 2 turns. I think they played it maybe twice in 1 turn, and I lost 12 life in 1 turn, I think, because of this. It was just so devastating because I had no creatures out, no enchantments out, no planeswalkers, so that was 6 damage each time. It was horrible. But yeah, Invoke Despair is so good right now. Junji, I just never realized that you can pull a non-dragon creature card from any graveyard. That is so good. Because that could be anything. I mean, hopefully, as long as you're not ripping them out yourself, you got to know who you're playing against and what they're going to do with that graveyard. Because otherwise, you want to leave that graveyard alone for the most part. I mean, take those go blanks out early, wait till they get their big creatures in there, and then start stealing from Junji. Really, it's just a matter of flexibility, right? So anyways, we've seen this deck before, sort of like it, but in this particular case, it focuses a lot more on discarding the cards and then doing stuff against that graveyard. I've never had a deck that's been so anti-graveyard. And on the other hand, today we had some good examples of why we want to take out the graveyard and why that's something we need to worry about. That's all for now. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, I want you to have a great day. In the words of my people, word to your mother. Bye.